Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. We have Zach Twardowski on our 7th episode of Leads Training today. So someone did this, Zach. It's called the infomercial test. Have you ever bought anything off an infomercial?
No. Have you?
No.
Does it count when it's on like Instagram and it pops up and you buy it?
I don't think so. It needs to be like that flex stuff where it's like you can fix anything and there's like a hole in like a dam and they put it in there. It's fixed instantly. Or there's like, windows leaking fixed in 2 seconds. Have you seen that?
I've seen those, but I've never bought anything from there.
Okay. So someone said, give me your best infomercial pitch on a product. This would be a good one. So you go, okay, the lead type we're going to talk about today. The people already trust you. You already have information on them, right? And then you go, but wait, there's more.
They're already buyers.
If you call them today, then you have a good chance of writing additional business like annuities and things that they didn't tell you about the first time they met you because they didn't trust you that much, right?
Right.
And that lead is called an annual review. So, Zach, you've written a ton of business on annual reviews starting at 9 months, once you're in the business 9 months.
Mm-hmm.
What advice and training and what can people expect when they start running annual reviews be more profitable, but also provide more value to people?
Yeah, so I used to, and I think in the CRM now, you can mark all your leads when you sell them, right? So that it sends you a reminder after 9. You can set the time for the reminder. So 9 months.
Yeah, but I
or
also
a year.
would do my own.
Yeah, so what I was going to say, I didn't do it that way. I made an Excel spreadsheet, and all I would do is every time I sold someone, I would text Jordan, and I would text them the client's name, their address, the company we did, premium, death benefit amount, and their phone number. And she'd put them into an Excel sheet and the date that we did it on. And then after a year, I did it all at a year, but you can do 9 months too, right? I did them all at a year. Then she would literally send me all the ones that hit a year whenever I needed more leads, and I would call them all and set appointments with them. Mm-hmm. So what I found with those ones was I would say at least something additional.
Dude.
It's high.
It's high.
Because they already bought from you.
They go, my mom needs something. This person needs something. My brother needs something. I need more. Like, dude, I have a lot of insurance and I need more.
Right. Same here. And like we said before, with the aged mortgage leads, I think we talked about that in one of the first ones we did. So I would always set up, and I would just go, Andrew, I'm giving you a call. Zach, I did your insurance for you a year ago. It's time for me to do my mandatory annual review.
Which people want.
Which they want.
Because they forget what they freaking have.
Yeah. I thought you were going somewhere else with that, but okay. Yeah, they forget what they had. So I tell them it's time for their their mandatory annual review. I have to come out and see them, make sure everything's still up to date. It'll take about 5-10 minutes. Does tomorrow at 5 still work like it did last year or whatever? And then what I found was 2 or 3 of them would be people that their policies fell off. Like the banking came back, they changed bank accounts, whatever happened, and their policy lapsed. So I'd be able to go back and rewrite those. A lot of other ones would be, like, say I met with you and Nicole, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes, like especially when I was new, like I remember going back to the ones where I was new and I'd come out and because I didn't know what I was doing.
Because you weren't selling right.
I wasn't selling right. I remember one of the first ones I did, the person was like, wait, there's ones where you can get your money back? Why didn't you even show me that the first time?
Because you prejudged them and you thought it was too expensive to show them.
Right. So a lot of times I'd go back and I would never mess with business I wrote. I would just add on and be like, well, we can do this one. Or a lot of times I would be where I would cover Andrew, but I didn't cover his wife. And I'd go back and go, hey, Nicole does all the childcare stuff. If something happened to her, God forbid, I don't know why we didn't look at this last time, but that's going to cost a lot of money to replace the childcare, right? So do you think we need to put at least something on her? And a lot of times I'd be able to go back and do the rest of the need that I didn't fill the first time.
Yeah.
But I think you have to stay really organized from day one. Otherwise,
or start today.
It. Yeah. Or start right now.
Don't go, I wasn't organized day one, so I'm not going to be organized now. Dude, you could print all your clients off from each carrier. You could call them. You could take 45 minutes and do that.
Yeah. Or if you have staff, they can do it especially with Americo, it's so easy. You can go to your whole client list. You can go through there and find all the people.
And just input them into Excel or whatever you want to use.
Mm-hmm, and go back and call through all of them.
Some people use that CRM called Less Annoying CRM. Have you heard of that?
I have not. Well, Isaiah, I heard him talk about it at conference in Phoenix, but I've never used it.
Yeah, I tried to use it. It's pretty annoying, to be honest.
It's not less annoying.
CRMs are just annoying.
I just use a Google Sheet, and I just have my staff input the leads for them.
So what I did on my Google Sheet is I'd put the date sold, I'd put the policy, and then I would highlight them issued when they got issued green, and then red when they got declined. That way I would go through that all the time and follow up with people. You start to forget who's who.
And the other thing we did with that too is on there, this doesn't relate to annual reviews, but it helped with my persistency. I would have my staff call a week after and, hey, Zach, the call from Zach's office, he did a policy with you last week. Wanted to make sure you got your policy, the payment went through and everything. And then do you have any additional questions I can answer for you? And they never had any questions, but it was just extra follow-up that helped keep the persistency higher.
Yeah. Now, real quick, I also put in a category of like something to remember about that customer.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say that they had a dog that was a little Chihuahua that loved me, right? I'm going to put the dog's name. So Spike, the dog, the little Chihuahua, as a note on my review. And when I call you, no one else is going to have instant credibility like me because I'm going to go, hey, Zach, this is Andrew, your insurance agent. How's Spike doing? I remember he was licking me in the appointment, loved me. Spike's doing great. Okay, cool. Hey, I'm calling you because we actually have your scheduled review coming up to go over your policy and make sure everything's up to date and correct. I can be out there on Tuesday at 3 or 6, right? Or, hey, how was little Timmy's football game?
Right.
Last time I saw you, little Timmy was in the championship football game. How'd that go? Great. Cool. Boom. Instant credibility.
Yep. Yeah. And I always I just had a notes category where I'd put something interesting about, like you said, something interesting about them, whether it was their dog, family, whatever the case was.
Or like, let's say they fed you tacos. Hey, I'll never forget those tacos I had.
Make sure they're ready when I come over on Tuesday.
I'll be back Tuesday if you're cooking.
Is it still not, Taco no big Tuesday? Deal. Yeah. Either way, I'm coming, but I'd prefer tacos. So yeah, and the other thing I would write on there too is if there was any sort of thing that I was like, I didn't follow up, like I knew that they had a 401k or something I didn't touch the first time. Can you talk about how you wrote a lot more annuities than I did? So can you talk about how you used annual reviews to find that sort of stuff?
Yeah, so the annual review, they trust you because you showed up a year later, you're still selling insurance, you didn't disappear to Cayman Islands with their money. And they're like, this guy's the real deal. He followed up. He went through everything. He went above and beyond. He provided good service. So when you ask the question of, do you have anything else that acts like life insurance, like stocks, bonds, CDs, 401ks, or any other assets that can be passed on to your family if you were to die? And my thing has always been simple, bam, fam. Mm-hmm. Book an appointment from an appointment. And every 10 appointments I went on, I'd do 3 bam fams every single time. At least 3 people would say, I do have something. And I would say, hey, I'm going to come by next week and show you some, what we call the Sleep Well at Night program, where no matter what happens in the world, you can never lose any money, but you can also gain interest as the stock market does perform. So you have upside, but no downside. I'm going to come show you an illustration on Tuesday and see if you're eligible. Can you grab a statement for me so we can run some illustrations?
So you just kept it very simple.
Very simple.
And did you always go, whenever I went back, I would always just go and do a totally new financial inventory sheet with them to see what's changed, what they have, if they had anything new in force. Totally. And what I found sometimes is people would, pick up a graded policy.
Policies since you left.
Yeah, they'd pick up a graded policy or something, or like some term with no money back or something like that. And then I would be able to fix that for them and put them in the right situation.
Yeah.
Dude, the other thing, I didn't realize for a long time, I started doing them out of necessity, really. Like I would sprinkle some in before, but the last couple months I was in the field, I was in Denver. We had a lot of agents getting started in Denver. So I gave away all my leads there to the new people, but I still needed to run business because we weren't at $1 million a month yet. So my last 2.5 months in the field, I ran 100% annual reviews. And it was nice because I had some people in South Carolina, Ohio, Indiana, all over the place. And they were totally willing to get on Zoom and do it over Zoom or over a phone call too, because they already knew me.
Yeah, legit. So you also can ask for referrals in annual reviews.
Mm-hmm.
You can set up the emergency response network. You can give out the health prescription drug discount card. You can help other family members, or you can just straight up ask, hey, were you happy with the service I provided you, Zach? Is there anyone you'd recommend I could also help? And
especially if they like you and they bought from you and they're buying from you again. Why would they not?
They would. It's kind of like people like to give good tips because the person's working hard. And you're like, I want to give this person a nice tip. People also want to help you get more sales, but you got to be willing to accept them and ask.
Right. Same thing that we do on a daily basis. Like, hey, where's a good restaurant here? Go there, right? Hey, where do you go to the gym at? Here. We do the same thing, and it's not weird when it's a gym or a restaurant, so it shouldn't be weird when we're talking about insurance either.
Yeah. So speaking of referrals, how to call a referral. We're going to go over on episode 8. That is going to be on January 7th. So in 2 days, we'll be back. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. If you haven't registered for the national conference, fflconference.com, Drew? Yes. Are you sure?
fflconvention.com.
fflconvention.com.
February 2nd through the 5th.
February 2nd through the 5th. So